What's going on, everybody? I'm John at Bean Sports, and today we're going to talk about 7 wide receivers that I think the Giants could target in this year's free agency. I'm going to try and keep this video under 10 minutes, but I'm excited to talk about some of these guys. Some people might not have wide receivers high on the Giants' list of positions of need, but with Sterling Shepard out, maybe all of next season, there is an opening for a decent wide receiver. The Giants might elect to use a later round draft pick to save cap, but there is a ton of cheap options this free agency at wide receiver. The guys I chose will probably fetch between $4 to $6 million, but after signing bonuses, they're basically a couple million on the cap. The Giants could afford one of those guys, no problem. I tried to choose guys that can play outside and inside in the slot. You might be surprised by just some of the big names that I talk about in this video, but I'll start with the first wide receiver, and he might be the least likely. I chose Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, Juju probably will sign a 1-year deal with the Steelers again. He's coming off a 1-year prove-it deal where he went down early with an injury. He had 15 receptions, 129 yards, and 0 touchdowns. He had a PFF grade of 59.2, the lowest catch percentage of his career by a good margin. His only touchdown was on a run play. He just had an awful season, and I was surprised he fell off like that. This is the same guy that has caught 7 or more touchdowns in 3 of his 5 seasons. So Juju has just basically hit rock bottom. The NFL is all about what have you done for me lately, and I wasn't going to bring Juju up, but with Big Ben moving on and retiring, I think there's a chance he looks to move on to just, maybe a winning team or just a different situation where he can get more playing time. I think Juju could fill in really nicely for Sterling Shepard. And I think you could sign him for like $4 or $5 million. Juju is a pure slot guy, so the Giants want to keep Kadarius Toney in the slot. This might not be a fit. I think Toney can produce on the outside, though, so I'm going to give Juju a call and see what he's looking for money-wise. The next guy I chose was another slot receiver. I chose Jameson Crowder. Crowder's numbers were down a bit this past season, mostly because he missed 5 games, but also his yards per reception was a career worst by a good bit. He had 8.8 yards per catch. To be fair, it wasn't all new coaching staff, so maybe that was the main culprit here, because his catch percentage was the second highest of his career. So I think the scheme was like all short reception stuff. I think you can get a little bit of value in the special teams department as well with him. Crowder has tons of experience as a punt returner, and I remember him taking one to the house. And with Jabril Peppers gone, now you got yourself a new punt returner. I like to see Toney get that punt returner role, but the coaching staff probably won't do it. So Jameson Crowder is a decent wide receiver, and I think you can sign him for like the same as you could sign John Ross. That $2, $3, $4 million range will probably get it done, and I think he's worth it. Even with missing the 5 games, Crowder had 447 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had a PFF grade of 64.9. The next wide receiver I chose is Emmanuel Sanders. Sanders has played 12 NFL seasons, and he has been a rock-solid, dependable wide receiver. He has only missed 20 games his entire career, so you can trust him to be on the field on Sundays. Outside of Sanders' first 2 seasons as a pro, he's always put up at least 600 yards receiving. Last season, Sanders had 626 yards and 4 touchdowns. He only missed 3 games, and here's why I think he may be the favorite, to sign with the Giants. He played for Buffalo last season in Brian Daboll's offense. You could see him following Daboll to New York. Really quick, Emmanuel Sanders had a PFF grade of 65.6. Listen, Joe Shane, just get this man to New York. Just make it happen. Next guy I'm about to bring up is very intriguing to me. I'd be ecstatic to sign this man. I'm talking about ex-Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Cedric Wilson. And Wilson definitely impressed me last season. When Michael Gallup went down, I thought that would be a huge blow for the Cowboys. But Cedric Wilson stepped in, and the Cowboys didn't miss a beat. Now, if we want to sign this guy, we're going to have to outbid the Cowboys, but I don't think it will take big money. At this point, I think $5 million will get him signed, so maybe the Giants would have to toss him an extra $1 million on the signing bonus, to get the deal done. So $6 million probably gets him. But I just love this kid's talent. Wilson had 602 yards and 6 touchdowns and a nice PFF grade of 73.8. And listen, a signing like this could definitely be a great thing that just boosts production. And honestly, can we really trust any of the wide receivers currently on this roster just to stay healthy? So we just need bodies out there at the end of the day for depth. The next guy I thought of was T.Y. Hilton. So me going into my investigation of T.Y., I thought he was just an injury-prone player. I don't know why, but when I dug in, I was obviously wrong. In his 10-year career, he's only missed 17 games. 7 of them games were in this last season. So maybe just Andrew Luck was so injured. For some reason, I lumped them together. But T.Y. has been reliable for a decade for the Colts. He's on the final stretch of his career, but I think he can give you 700 to 900 yards in a season, and he demands attention from the defense. Just his presence will open up stuff for other wide receivers on the team. He had a grade of 70.1. He had 331 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns in 10 games. He was also only playing in 53% of the snaps on the offense. So I think he was just probably banged up pretty much for most of the season. I think you can sign T.Y. Hilton for that $5 to $6 million range. The next receiver I chose was Sami Watkins. I'm not huge on Watkins. I chose him because he can play well at times. It seems like he's always hurt. I'm pretty sure this guy has only played 1 full season in his 8-year career. But the talent is there, and I do think you can get this guy dirt cheap. And if he's forced to start, I think he can give you a few quality games. I think you can lure him here, $2 million or so. If the Giants want him, he's there to be had, and I don't think you have to throw out any guaranteed money, really. Nothing wrong with having depth, at all positions, so why not? Just a camp body. But the last guy I want to talk about, this is my dream scenario. I'm talking about AJ Green, who would be a great pair to go along with Kenny Golladay. Green and Golladay on both sides of the field would just be awesome for Daniel Jones. Let's just be honest here. If the O-line is even average, you're giving this kid a real shot at having a productive season. AJ Green had a slight resurgence in Arizona. He had 848 yards and 3 touchdowns. His PFF grade was 69.2. He may be on the old side, but facts are facts, and he produces, pure and simple. He still demands attention from defenses, but listen, a man can dream, right? But I think you could sign AJ for that 6 to 7 million range on a 1-year deal. But that's my list of possible targets for wide receivers. I wouldn't mind another flyer on John Ross, but I'm not taking him back unless it's a vet minimum. The guy just can't stay on the field. It seems like he got hurt 3 times last year. Play 1 game and get hurt. But a few of these guys that I talked about have just been a little bit more consistent. And you could sign them for probably the same price as John Ross, most likely. But let me know down in the comments which one of these wide receivers you like. Maybe there's a receiver I didn't talk about that you like. I'd like to hear who you guys might also like in this free agent class. Everyone stay safe out there, stay warm. Please leave a like. That's a huge help for me, for the channel. And if you're new, subscribe. I got tons of Giants videos lined up. I dabble in the draft prospects. Go check them out. Maybe you'd enjoy them. And I'll be making them all the way up to the draft. So I'm going to be making free agency videos, up until the free agency starts as well. So be looking for them. But thank you all for the support. You guys have really inspired me to give my all to this YouTube game. But like, subscribe, and peace.